the Great Pyramid of Giza. For nearly 5 millennia, humanity has been told a story that seems simple enough. Pharaoh Khufu constructed this monumental structure as his final resting place. According to the textbooks, thousands of laborers toiled for 2 decades to raise this immense edifice, armed with little more than copper chisels, ropes, and sheer human grit. On the surface, it sounds almost plausible, tons of stone lifted and perfectly stacked, all without the benefit of modern machinery. But the more you look at it, the less it makes sense. The standard narrative leaves enormous gaps. It emphasizes metal where there's none, overlooks the engineering marvels, and offers explanations that barely scratch the surface of what we're truly seeing. Here's the real twist. Much of what you've been taught about the pyramids isn't solid fact, it's speculation. Educated guesses at best, woven into a story so neat that it hides as much as it reveals. Now, imagine for a moment that the truth isn't just incomplete, it's actively concealed. At the center of this long-standing mystery stands one figure, Dr. Zahi Hawass, Egypt's most influential archaeologist. For decades, he's had near total control over every excavation, every discovery, and every ancient secret unearthed beneath Egypt's deserts. He's the gatekeeper, the man who decides what the world gets to see and, more importantly, what it doesn't. And that's where things get puzzling. When new theories or independent investigations emerge, especially those that challenge the established story, Hawass has a reputation for shutting them down. Questions are dismissed, discoveries are quietly buried, books are written with selective facts. Why? Is it to protect Egypt's historical legacy, or is there something else hidden even deeper that he is guarding? Most of what's written in archaeology books about the pyramids is inaccurate. Much of it, the textbooks you trust might be telling you half-truths at best. I'm not suggesting wild conspiracies here, but consider this. Why would one man go to such lengths to suppress research precisely when new evidence could redefine history itself? Evidence that could change the way we understand the very origins of human civilization. Could it be that the pyramids are far older than we're taught? That their construction methods were far beyond the simple tools historians claim? Could there have been advanced technologies now lost to us that allowed these immense stones to be perfectly positioned thousands of years ago? Tonight, we're peeling back the veil. We're exploring long-sealed chambers, examining stonework so precise it challenges modern engineering, and uncovering clues deliberately hidden in plain sight. We're questioning everything we thought we knew about Khufu's pyramid. The reality may be far stranger, far older, and far more sophisticated than mainstream Egyptology dares to admit. Could it really have been built with nothing but ropes, wooden rollers, and manpower, or is there evidence of something far more advanced, a civilization whose skills were lost to time? We'll confront the guardians of history, follow the trail of hidden knowledge, and reveal secrets the world has been told to ignore. Because sometimes history isn't missing, it's being hidden intentionally by those who don't want you to question what you've been taught. The revelations you're about to see tonight might completely transform your understanding of one of the world's most famous monuments. Strap in this journey into the heart of the pyramids will challenge everything you thought you knew. When most people imagine ancient Egypt, their minds conjure dazzling golden tombs, intricate hieroglyphics, and of course, the legendary Great Pyramid of Giza, towering majestically above the vast desert sands. For generations, we've been told a simple story. Around 2550 BC, Pharaoh Khufu commissioned this colossal structure as his eternal resting place, and thousands of laborers, armed with nothing more than basic hand tools, labored tirelessly to bring his vision to life. At first glance, It seems like a testament to human ingenuity, a marvel of ancient engineering. But the deeper you examine this narrative, the more cracks appear. The traditional story, as incredible as it sounds, rests on surprisingly flimsy evidence. In fact, many of the assumptions that underpin this tale might be far shakier than historians would like to admit. Could it be that we've misunderstood not only who constructed the Great Pyramid, but also how this staggering feat was achieved? Here's something even more astonishing. Despite the Great Pyramid's immense historical importance, there is no definitive record from Khufu's time claiming that he built it. The ancient Egyptians were meticulous record keepers. They documented everything from mundane daily routines to intricate religious ceremonies, from royal decrees to monumental events. Yet, oddly enough, there's not a single clear inscription or text linking Khufu directly to the creation of his so called tomb. Archaeologists sometimes point to faint marks or symbols discovered in remote, hidden chambers deep within the pyramid, but these markings were not documented until centuries after the pyramid's initial exploration, casting serious doubt on their authenticity. After all, just because a name appears on the wall doesn't mean the person actually built or commissioned the structure. Perhaps the most baffling mystery of all lies in the true purpose of the Great Pyramid. Mainstream Egyptology insists it was constructed as a grand royal tomb for Pharaoh Khufu, and yet, unlike every other known royal tomb in Egypt, the Great Pyramid contains no inscriptions glorifying Khufu, no elaborate decorations, no precious treasures, and most critically, no trace of Khufu's remains. If the pyramid was truly intended as a burial site, we would expect it to hold vast riches, funerary artifacts, and ceremonial relics consistent with other royal tombs. But astonishingly, none of these have ever been found inside its colossal chambers. This absence raises a haunting question. If the Great Pyramid wasn't built to house Khufu's body, then what was its purpose? And who really orchestrated its construction? The more we dig, the more it becomes clear that the official story might only be scratching the surface of a far deeper mystery, one that could rewrite everything we think we know about ancient Egypt. This astonishing absence of evidence raises an even more compelling question. Could the Great Pyramid's true purpose have been something far more advanced, functional, or mysterious than conventional historians have long assumed? And as we peer deeper into this ancient wonder, another mystery emerges, one that has baffled architects, engineers, and scholars for centuries. The pyramid's remarkable precision and construction complexity. Even today, modern engineers are in awe of how flawlessly the Great Pyramid aligns with true north, accurate to fractions of a single degree. Such precision is staggering, even with today's sophisticated instruments. Step inside its massive walls, and the enigma deepens. Gigantic granite blocks, some weighing up to 80 tons each, display cutting and drilling techniques that appear far beyond the capabilities of a civilization armed only with copper tools. Engineer Christopher Dunn devoted years to studying these stones and discovered something extraordinary. The granite blocks show evidence of perfectly round drill cores, razor-sharp cuts, and machining so precise it challenges everything we thought we knew about ancient construction. Modern experiments attempting to replicate these techniques with primitive copper chisels have met with dismal failure. Tools wear down instantly, progress is painfully slow, and after days of labor, results are minimal. This leads to an unsettling conclusion. If even today's advanced technology struggles to recreate such feats, how on earth could the ancient Egyptians have accomplished this thousands of years ago? And that's not all. Consider the pyramid's complex internal network of passageways, chambers, and corridors. Constructing these intricate interiors would have required reliable lighting, allowing workers to see clearly while maneuvering massive stones and delicate passages. Historians suggest the use of torches or oil lamps, but when researchers examined these tunnels, they found no traces of soot, scorch marks, or smoke residue on the walls or ceilings. Nothing. Such an absence defies logic, because traditional flame-based lighting would have inevitably left marks. Could it be that the pyramid builders had access to some form of advanced illumination technology, something completely unknown to us today? Or perhaps they employed construction methods that modern science has yet to even conceive? These mysteries hint at a provocative possibility. The architects and builders of the Great Pyramid may have possessed knowledge, skills, or technologies far beyond what mainstream history currently recognizes. Every precision cut, every flawless alignment, and every untouched chamber challenges the conventional story we've been told. Each discovery seems to whisper a single tantalizing question. What else don't we know about the world's most iconic monument? Instead of openly exploring these groundbreaking ideas, mainstream archaeology, especially under the influence of Dr. Zahi Hawass, has consistently defended the traditional narrative. Independent researchers who challenge the orthodox story often face significant pushback. Take Robert Bauval, for instance, who proposed the Orion Correlation Theory, suggesting that the pyramids were deliberately aligned with the stars of Orion's belt as they appeared thousands of years before Pharaoh Khufu's reign. His work, though intriguing, was met with considerable resistance from the academic establishment. Similarly, investigators like Robert Schoch and John Anthony West have uncovered compelling geological evidence that hints at a far older history. West, in particular, demonstrated that the base of the Great Sphinx shows extensive water erosion, a pattern inconsistent with the effects of wind or sand, as most Egyptologists maintain. The Sphinx's body and surrounding enclosure exhibit rounded, undulating formations, typical of heavy rainfall and flowing water rather than desert abrasion. This discovery poses a fascinating question. When was there enough water in the Giza Plateau to create such erosion? The answer is astonishing. Geological data suggests that the Sahara experienced significant rainfall over 12,000 years ago at the end of the last ice age. This timeline implies that the Sphinx could predate ancient Egypt as we know it by several millennia. According to West's theory, long before the desert sands overtook the region, the Giza Plateau was a lush, fertile savanna. At the edge of this fertile land stood a prominent natural rock outcrop. It was here that an unknown group of skilled sculptors may have first carved the Sphinx, a monumental lion with a human face, perhaps representing a deity or a symbolic guardian. Over time, changing weather patterns brought torrential rains that eroded the Sphinx, shaping it into the form we see today. Once the rains ceased and the savanna transformed into the arid Sahara Desert, layers of sand buried the Sphinx up to its neck, preserving evidence of ancient water erosion. When the Fourth Dynasty rulers, including Pharaoh Khufu, arrived around 2500 BC to build the pyramids, they may have discovered this ancient monument and modified its face to reflect their own image, effectively restoring rather than constructing it. Pharaoh Khufu did not build the Sphinx, he revived and reshaped a relic from a lost civilization. Even though this explanation is supported by rigorous geological research and offers the most convincing timeline for the Sphinx's origins, mainstream Egyptologists continue to reject or overlook it. Few alternative explanations have been offered to account for the water erosion, leaving the mystery of the Sphinx's true age unresolved. John Anthony West's research raises profound questions. If the Sphinx predates the pyramids by thousands of years, could there have been a highly advanced civilization long before the dynastic Egyptians? And if so, what knowledge, technology, or cultural achievements might they have left behind, hidden beneath the sands of time? This line of inquiry challenges everything we've been taught about ancient Egypt. It suggests that the monumental structures we admire today may have roots far older, far more sophisticated, and far more mysterious than traditional history dares to acknowledge. And as we peel back these layers, one truth becomes increasingly clear. The deeper we look, the more the past refuses to fit neatly into the story we've been told. In a heated debate over the origins and purpose of the Sphinx and the pyramids, geologists have largely sided with John Anthony West, lending strong support to his theories. Egyptologists, on the other hand, have offered few substantive rebuttals to his conclusions. For many in the academic world, West represents a profound challenge, an intellectual disruptor. He is, in essence, an academic's worst nightmare, a scholar from outside the mainstream presenting a meticulously researched, thoroughly documented, and beautifully argued theory that cannot easily be dismissed. His work is coherent, data driven, and compelling, and it challenges long held assumptions. So, how do the gatekeepers of traditional Egyptology respond? Often they ignore it. They hope that the challenge will fade, that the uncomfortable questions will simply disappear. But history has a way of refusing to be silenced, and West's arguments remain a persistent thorn in the side of Orthodox scholarship. This raises a pressing question. Why is there such resistance to exploring alternative possibilities? Is it truly a matter of protecting Egypt's heritage, as some claim? Or is it about preserving professional reputations, maintaining academic traditions, or even national pride? If there were nothing extraordinary beneath Egypt's sands, why would there be such secrecy and hesitation to investigate further? Could it be that the pyramids conceal knowledge or technology that has been forgotten over millennia, tools, techniques, or insights that could revolutionize our understanding of ancient civilizations and challenge everything we thought we knew about humanity's past? As we delve deeper into the pyramids' mysteries, the revelations become more astonishing. What lies beneath the surface is far stranger than the textbooks suggest. Most guides and history books only mention a handful of rooms: the king's chamber, the queen's chamber, and a few connecting corridors. Yet recent explorations hint at a far more complex interior. Back in the early 1990s, German engineer Rudolf Gantenbrink made headlines when he explored narrow tunnels inside the Queen's chamber, shafts that experts had long assumed were purely symbolic and led nowhere. Using a small, specially designed robotic camera, Gantenbrink navigated these confined spaces and discovered something extraordinary: a mysterious limestone door perfectly fitted into the tunnel, complete with two small copper handles. Dubbed Gantenbrink's Door, this remarkable find captivated the world instantly. Why? Because metal fittings like these handles had never been found elsewhere inside the pyramid, suggesting that the door was deliberately designed to protect or conceal something significant. The discovery ignited a wave of speculation. What could lie beyond this sealed barrier? Chambers filled with treasures, hidden knowledge, evidence of advanced technologies lost to time. The answers remain tantalizingly out of reach, but the mere existence of this door hints at secrets far deeper and more complex than mainstream history acknowledges. Just as Rudolf Gantenbrink and his team were on the verge of uncovering what lay beyond the mysterious limestone door, Their investigation was abruptly halted by Egyptian authorities without any clear explanation. The world was left in suspense, watching as one of the most tantalizing mysteries of the pyramids went unresolved. Almost a decade later, in 2002, another team, this time sponsored by National Geographic, returned to continue the search. Using precise instruments, they drilled a tiny hole through Gantenbrink's door, expecting perhaps to glimpse a hidden chamber beyond. But instead, they encountered yet another sealed limestone slab directly behind the first door. And astonishingly, this second barrier remains completely unexplored to this day. Despite repeated appeals from researchers and archaeologists around the world, further exploration continues to be denied. This persistent obstruction raises urgent questions. Why such caution at such a critical point? Are the authorities merely protecting ancient treasures, or is there something even more extraordinary hidden that they prefer the world not to see? The mystery deepened in 2017 when a team of international scientists employed cutting-edge muon radiography, a form of advanced cosmic ray scanning, to peer inside the pyramid without disturbing its structure. The results stunned the world. They detected a massive, previously unknown void located just above the Grand Gallery. This chamber is enormous, potentially as large as all the known rooms combined, but it has no visible entrance, and its purpose remains completely unknown. Archaeologists immediately recognized the discovery as one of the most significant breakthroughs in decades. Yet, even with this revolutionary finding, requests for further exploration were repeatedly denied by Egyptian authorities, citing vague concerns over safety and preservation. But the intrigue doesn't stop with hidden chambers. Even the very physical construction of the pyramid continues to defy traditional explanations. Each block, each corridor, and each precise alignment challenges the narrative that ancient Egyptians built the structure solely with basic hand tools, ropes, and ramps. Hidden voids, sealed doors, and massive unexplored spaces suggest that the Great Pyramid may contain knowledge, technology, or secrets that mainstream history has either overlooked or been deliberately prevented from revealing. The deeper we probe, the more the pyramid resists our understanding, and the more it becomes clear that what lies within may rewrite the story of human civilization itself. Researchers, including the engineer Christopher Dunn, have meticulously examined the Great Pyramid's interior and uncovered evidence that challenges everything we thought we knew about ancient construction. Dunn focused on the massive granite blocks in the king's chamber, documenting perfectly drilled holes, precision cuts, and markings that appear consistent with advanced machinery, far beyond the reach of simple copper chisels. Granite is one of the hardest stones on Earth, capable of quickly destroying or wearing down even the most durable basic tools. So, how could the builders of the Great Pyramid have achieved such flawless precision thousands of years ago, using only what historians describe as primitive tools? These findings, combined with the discovery of hidden chambers, mysterious limestone doors, and advanced construction techniques, suggest something extraordinary. Either the pyramid's architects had access to technology far ahead of their time, or they inherited knowledge from much older civilization lost to history. Yet, despite these astonishing possibilities, mainstream archaeology continues to maintain a cautious and at times defensive stance. While some may argue that this caution aims to protect Egypt's heritage from sensational claims, it also has the unintended effect of keeping crucial truths hidden, perhaps indefinitely. The result is a series of tantalizing questions that remain unresolved. What lies behind the sealed limestone doors inside the Queen's chamber and beyond? What purpose does the massive, hidden void discovered above the Grand Gallery in 2017 actually serve? And ultimately, could exploring these hidden spaces finally reveal who truly built the Great Pyramid and how they accomplished this seemingly impossible feat? With so many mysteries buried deep within the pyramid, one person has stood as a powerful barrier between the world and these answers: Dr. Zahi Hawass. For decades, Hawass has been the central figure in Egyptian archaeology, shaping not only what the public knows about ancient Egypt, but more importantly, what remains undiscovered. Charismatic, outspoken, and fiercely protective of Egypt's heritage, he has held some of the most influential positions in the field, including Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities and Minister of Antiquities. Hawass is a gatekeeper in every sense of the word, deciding which excavations proceed, which discoveries are publicized, and which theories are allowed to flourish. His influence has ensured that certain avenues of research are closely monitored, restricted, or outright denied, leaving many of the pyramid's deepest secrets tantalizingly out of reach. For those daring to question the established narrative, Hawass represents both a challenge and a barrier, standing between the world and the hidden truths of one of history's most enigmatic monuments. Dr. Zahi Hawass's influential roles have granted him unparalleled authority over Egyptian archaeology. He decides who receives permission to excavate, which research projects can move forward, and ultimately which discoveries are allowed to be revealed to the world. On the surface, Hawass appears as a passionate advocate for Egypt's cultural heritage, promoting its history on the global stage. But beneath this public image lies a rigid and highly secretive system, one that has repeatedly blocked researchers attempting to challenge conventional narratives. Supporters argue that Hawass is simply safeguarding Egypt's priceless treasures from speculative or reckless theories. Yet there is another, far more unsettling possibility: that his strict oversight may be designed to keep certain truths hidden, preserving comfortably accepted historical narratives while protecting professional reputations, entrenched academic traditions, and even national pride. By carefully controlling who can investigate and exactly what findings can be shared, Hawass has effectively positioned himself as the ultimate gatekeeper of Egyptian history. In doing so, he may have prevented discoveries capable of rewriting our understanding of the ancient world, leaving tantalizing mysteries just out of reach. Hawass's legacy is complex. On one hand, he has dramatically elevated Egypt's profile, showcasing its monuments, culture, and history to audiences worldwide. On the other hand, his influence may have come at an unseen cost. Restrictive policies and tightly controlled access could have inhibited critical exploration, leaving essential truths about Egypt's ancient past buried beneath the sands for generations. This raises a troubling question. Is Dr. Zahi Hawass genuinely protecting Egypt's heritage, or is he guarding something far more extraordinary? Could there be secrets hidden within the pyramids and monuments that, if revealed, would fundamentally rewrite history as we know it? Until Egyptian archaeology embraces true transparency, we may never fully understand what lies behind those carefully guarded doors. With these questions still hanging in the air, it's time to turn our attention to alternative theories, possibilities that mainstream archaeology has often been reluctant to discuss. Could the answers to the pyramid's greatest mysteries lie not in accepted history, but in the ideas and evidence that have long been dismissed or ignored? Independent researchers have uncovered evidence that challenges the official story we've been told for centuries. Their findings hint at a far more complex and mysterious history, one that mainstream archaeology has largely overlooked or dismissed. Earlier, we touched on the groundbreaking work of Dr. Robert Schoch, whose studies of the Great Sphinx suggest its origins could reach back far beyond the timelines accepted by conventional history. Schock's observations imply that the Sphinx may have been constructed by an earlier, forgotten civilization long before the rise of dynastic Egypt. Building on this idea, Robert Bauval proposed his remarkable Orion Correlation Theory. Bauval noticed something extraordinary. The three main pyramids at Giza are not randomly placed. They perfectly mirror the three stars of Orion's belt. But the alignment doesn't match the sky as it appeared during Pharaoh Khufu's reign. Instead, the pyramids correspond precisely to the constellation's position around 500 BC, thousands of years before traditional history acknowledges. This alignment seems far too precise to be mere coincidence. Orion was deeply significant in Egyptian culture, symbolizing Osiris, the god of the afterlife, and embodying themes of rebirth and the eternal cycle of life and death. If Bauval's theory is accurate, it suggests that the pyramid builders possessed a sophisticated understanding of astronomy, deliberately encoding their monuments with celestial meaning, knowledge that mainstream historians insist the ancient Egyptians simply could not have possessed. The story grows even more fascinating when we examine the construction techniques. Engineer Christopher Dunn has meticulously studied the granite blocks inside the Great Pyramid, discovering perfectly drilled holes, precision cuts, and advanced tooling marks that primitive copper chisels could not have produced. Granite is one of the hardest stones on Earth, and even with modern hand tools, achieving this level of precision would be extraordinarily difficult. Could ancient Egyptians have accomplished this with basic tools? Or does this suggest they had access to lost technologies or knowledge from an older civilization? Adding to the mystery is the question of transportation. Some of the granite blocks weigh up to 80 tons each, yet their source was located over 500 meters away from the Giza Plateau. Historians have offered no convincing explanation for how these enormous stones could have been moved across such distances without wheels, cranes, or modern machinery. Even today, moving stones of this size presents a massive logistical challenge requiring heavy-duty vehicles, specialized equipment, and meticulous planning. This glaring gap in the conventional narrative naturally raises an intriguing question. How could ancient builders accomplish feats that would still challenge modern engineers? Graham Hancock takes these ideas further, proposing that a highly advanced global civilization once existed, only to vanish either through a catastrophic event or gradual decline. Hancock points to archaeological sites worldwide, including Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, a complex of temples dating back approximately 1200 years, as evidence of this lost civilization. He argues that the sophisticated knowledge possessed by these ancient people was not entirely lost. Fragments of it may have been passed down, influencing later cultures, including the early Egyptians. If Hancock and Bauval are correct, the pyramids, the Sphinx, and other monumental sites are far more than simple tombs. They are legacy markers of ancient wisdom, encoding knowledge and skills inherited from a civilization whose understanding of astronomy, engineering, and construction far exceeded what historians have long assumed. Researchers such as John Anthony West and Dr. Robert Schock argue that ancient Egyptians did not suddenly develop their extraordinary architectural, astronomical, and mathematical abilities overnight. Instead, they suggest that these advanced skills were inherited from a much older, highly sophisticated civilization. This theory helps explain a puzzling phenomenon. Ancient Egyptian culture appears almost fully formed, emerging suddenly with astonishing sophistication, rather than gradually evolving over centuries. While mainstream Egyptology often dismisses such ideas as improbable or even impossible, the growing body of evidence makes them increasingly difficult to ignore. Take, for instance, the mysterious Assyrian temple at Abydos, constructed from massive granite blocks. The precision and craftsmanship here rivals that of the Great Pyramid itself, displaying techniques that conventional historians argue would have been far beyond the capabilities of early Egyptians. Similarly, the granite boxes at Saqqara demonstrate extraordinary accuracy, so precise that even today they would challenge modern machinery, let alone the tools available during the Bronze Age. These discoveries hint at layers of history that are not fully acknowledged, suggesting that an older, advanced civilization may have played a foundational role in shaping ancient Egypt's iconic monuments. This naturally leads to difficult but fascinating questions. Who were these mysterious builders, and how did they possess knowledge and technology far beyond what we previously believed possible? When we examine the lack of inscriptions linking Pharaoh Khufu directly to the Great Pyramid, the precision stonework that seems far too advanced for simple tools, the sealed chambers still waiting to be explored, and evidence pointing to a much older origin, the official historical narrative begins to unravel. Taken together, these clues suggest that the pyramid builders likely had access to knowledge, techniques, and possibly technology far more advanced than mainstream history credits them for. While this idea might initially seem improbable, the more we investigate, the more plausible it becomes. Perhaps the Egyptians were inheritors of lost knowledge, adapting techniques passed down from an earlier civilization. Or maybe the pyramids were built entirely by a civilization long forgotten, whose expertise was later incorporated into Egyptian culture. So, why does mainstream archaeology hesitate to explore these possibilities? One major reason is the profound implications for historical narratives. Accepting the existence of a lost, advanced civilization would require a radical reevaluation of the timeline of human history. Historians, archaeologists, and even entire nations have built their identities, reputations, and academic authority around the traditional chronology of ancient Egypt. Challenging this framework is not merely an academic exercise, it could rewrite the story of humanity itself. In other words, exploring these alternative theories is not just a question of curiosity, it challenges the very foundations of what we think we know about our past. And for those who dare to question the official story, the deeper we dig, the more we uncover a web of mystery, secrecy, and astonishing knowledge that continues to baffle scientists, historians, and archaeologists alike. Rewriting history books, rethinking museum exhibits, and challenging deeply held beliefs is never easy. But when it comes to Egypt, acknowledging the possibility that the famous pyramids may predate the known civilization or that they might not be purely Egyptian creations touches on issues of national pride, identity, and long held cultural narratives. By resisting deeper exploration into hidden chambers, advanced construction techniques, and alternative historical explanations, mainstream archaeology may unintentionally be keeping vital truths buried beneath the desert sands. Imagine the implications if clear evidence were discovered proving that an advanced civilization long forgotten by history played a role in the construction of the pyramids. Such a revelation wouldn't just rewrite Egypt's history, it could fundamentally reshape our understanding of human civilization, challenging everything we've assumed about our ancestors and their extraordinary accomplishments. Standing on the brink of these profound mysteries, we are forced to ask, will archaeologists eventually open these sealed doors and investigate the secrets hidden within the Great Pyramid? Or will these monumental enigmas remain locked away, waiting for a future generation bold enough to seek the truth? The questions are vast, the evidence tantalizing, and the potential revelations staggering. From the precision-cut granite blocks to the hidden voids and mysterious limestone doors, to the astronomical alignments and hints of lost civilizations, every layer of the pyramids invites us to reconsider what we think we know. For those fascinated by ancient mysteries, this story does not end here. There are countless secrets still buried across Egypt and around the world, waiting for those curious enough to uncover them. Explore, question, and challenge because history, as we've seen, is never quite what it seems. For more journeys into the mysteries of the past, be sure to check out our other videos and subscribe to join us as we continue exploring the incredible stories that history has yet to reveal. Thank you for watching, and as always, until next time, stay curious and stay safe.